live in New York.
Transfer is available to the 17ACEW train.
The Statue of Liberty.
The yellow cabs.
The knits, honestly.
Fashion, art, Times Square.
Probably the Skyline.
These are some of the first things that come to mind when you think of New York. Images and sounds that have been imprinted in your brain since you first saw the Big Apple on a postcard or television. Most people who live here won't be able to see everything the city has to offer in a lifetime, and most tourists won't even scratch the surface.
Would you think of hunting?
I wouldn't think of hunting whatsoever.
No, not for me.
Hunting.
I wouldn't. I would not think of hunting.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Being a New Yorker isn't just about the bright lights or living in the big city. There are some who go just miles away from the heart of Manhattan, embracing the call of the outdoors, and hunt the fields and waterways of Long Island. This is the story of those who go beyond the city skyline.
My name's Michael Squia. I'm from Ronkonkoma, New York. My job, I'm a Local 3 electrician in Manhattan. Also work in the 5 boroughs. I take the train every day. It is not the most climatic thing in the world to do. I deal with all types of rude people screaming on the phone, people having loud conversations. Manhattan can stress out anybody, but realizing, hey, I don't have to take that train today, and I get to go to one of my favorite places, which is to a field in the middle of Long Island.
It's unusual that you could find places to hunt and to be in the woods on Long Island, especially coming from the city. I came from Queens. You know, be surprised at how much open space you have out here.
People, they have no clue that there's all this hunting opportunity that we have in New York. They just think that it's just buildings and concrete, and it's far from it.
We'll be in a field that's tremendous for pheasant hunting, and there's no cars whizzing past you, there's no planes going overhead, and you're like, this is New York, this is Long Island, and in reality it is, and it's fantastic.
On Long Island, it's nice because they do stock the pheasants. You get an opportunity to go out there and actually see birds.
Rocky Point and Otis Pike are 2 properties that we stock pheasants on. Individuals that are interested in hunting on those properties need to come to the check station. They have to get a daily access permit.
When you get to the check station, your heart starts thumping a little bit to make sure, you know, I hope we get that spot, I hope we get that spot. We know that's where they are.
You got to be lucky. You got to be out there early enough and be lucky that they'll give you that property.
And then when you get up there and the spot's not taken, it's like the best feeling in the world.
In a season, we average somewhere around 3,500 people that come through the check station.
There's only so much land available to a lot of hunters. And there are a lot of hunters on Long Island.
It's a little frustrating, but this is, you know, where we live. So this is what we have to deal with to do what we enjoy doing. It kind of brings us closer together. It becomes an opportunity for all of us to get together. 3 dogs. They're Brittany's. There's Sandy, there's Charlie, one of her offspring, and then I have the puppy, Maddie. I've lost a father about 2 years ago, and he was what started everything. He was my first Brittany. He was definitely the go-to dog to get the job done. I spent countless hours training these dogs. They have to have that drive to point and to have that bird-finding instinct. They get excited just like we all do. Sometimes they forget some of the training that we've done. As soon as I put my brush pants that I take them hunting, they automatically know, oh, they're going out. It's not that I'm just taking them out. They know, and they want to go right to the truck. I open up that cage, their excitement is just intense. They just trying to push that gate open and just jump out and get to work.
It's a pleasure to watch them work. And they love doing it. That's the best part about it. They love doing what they do.
Seeing them go on point, and then, you know, they all have different personalities. So like, if I miss, some of the dogs will look back at me like, really?
If it wasn't for the dogs, it just would be just another day.
If it wasn't for the dog, I wouldn't be pheasant hunting. He finds them for me, and you know, less work I gotta do.
Oh, we got a point, Pete. Right there. Nice. Beautiful.
Good boy, Charlie.
She's on point right there with the foot up and everything.
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law.
Good girl.
Hope they won't shoot me down soon.
There you go.
They sing on a sleepless night.
No matter what kind of hunting that we do, it's still the same thing to me. Spending time with friends and family and just enjoying the outdoors.
See it? Back!
Waterfowl hunting on Long Island is definitely steeped in very deep tradition.
People have been waterfowling here way before I was even born.
I've been hunting out here from when I was a kid, coming out with my dad when I was 15 years old.
South Shore is a phenomenal place to duck hunt. Great South Bay is one of the most beautiful places there is. The sunrises that come up over the water, sunsets that go down over the water, it's just, it's priceless.
Do it, do it, do it.
Here they come. Get him, get him, get him.
We got one down. If you hunt on the west end of Nassau County, on a clear day, or if you're in the right spot, you can see the city skyline. To be shooting ducks and then to look to look west and have the city there is kind of unique. I mean, I don't know anywhere else that has that. I really don't.
It's so unique where I hunt. I mean, when I tell people where I hunt and show them pictures, people are astonished. And every question I get is that legal? Where we're sitting right now is as close to New York City as you can get and hunt legally. The answer is yes, it's legal. I'm on Nassau County property, 500 feet from any structure or dwelling, and it's 100% legal. It's such a beautiful sight to see the planes taking off and landing, especially in dark when all you see is the lights coming down.
Duck hunting, you got to be a kind of a special kind of guy, because you're dealing with putting on the waders and getting out in the cold, and when you're out there at 4:30 in the morning, it's cold.
We've gone out where it's weather like this, and we've gone out where 30-mile-an-hour winds, snow, ice rolling in. It's like an achievement at the end. Like we got through it. We didn't just pack up and say, we'll try again tomorrow. No, we did it.
As the operator of the boat, you're wearing ski goggles, a mask. It's cold. But it's invigorating.
Some people look at you like you're crazy, and maybe they're right, but a little bit. But it's whether it's I'm willing to go out and duck hunt. It's to say to somebody standing in a football stadium with snow coming down watching the game.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's so comfortable to be outside, especially being on the water or being in the ocean against the jetties and against the rocks. But in reality, when you prepare for it, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it.
When you have a beautiful weekend coming up and you really want to go hunting, you just put off all your other responsibilities just to make sure everything's done. And then when you have a bump in the road like a bad trailer hub, it just sets everything back. Yeah, it should cover pretty good. The ducks, they have very good vision. So when they're coming in and they're getting close to you, if they see any movement or anything that they're not used to, they're gonna flare off. Anything that they don't like, they're not gonna commit. Covering the whole face of the boat and the top, because sometimes the birds will circle around over the top. You wanna be as covered as possible. Whatever it takes, even my wife hating me. Anything to get out there, yep.
It's almost like going to a car show where everybody has a different car, where we have different boats. I've seen guys just like they go absolutely crazy trying to camo that boat, and that's like half the fun, whether it's grass, whether it's paint. I saw one guy one time, it looked like a giant duck, which, hey, good for you, whatever works. And it's I like the creativity of it.
It opens up conversations out there. You get to a ramp and, so many guys have so many different boats, and, you might like the way he grassed his boat. You stop, you talk to him, see how he did it.
I worked all winter and summer on a boat this year. Had a problem with it, had to scramble and put another boat together. Had an old engine on it, was an old boat. It's a little temperamental in the morning. I guess it's a little temperamental all the time.
Come on.
The work that I put into it, I actually laugh sometimes at myself, like how much work I put into duck hunting this season. For the 3 months that we get to hunt was almost comical.
We put out dozens of decoys to bring in a few birds. Somebody who's not into waterfowl hunting says, wow, that seems like a lot of work. And you talk to somebody who's very seasoned in waterfowl hunting, they're going to say to you, well, maybe you should do 120. It's just they understand the work that you have to go through.
It's a labor of love, but it's invigorating, and if you love doing it, then, you don't care.
Oh, you're right. Get him, get him, get him. You have days on the water where you will not miss a shot. Then there are days where you'll have birds committing to the decoys, picture perfect, and we can't hit the broadside of a barn.
Take them. I don't even know what to say.
You can practice, you can skeet shoot, you can do this, you can do that. It's just one of those things. It just brings more laughter and stories behind the hunt, because it doesn't always have to be perfect. It's not all about putting the birds in a boat or how many birds you got that day. It's just the whole atmosphere of being out there. In my eyes, there's nothing prettier than seeing birds lock up and commit to a decoy spread and actually come right down and land. There are times I've just sat back and watched it and haven't even lifted the gun up. It's priceless.
We start duck hunting on Thanksgiving morning. That's our tradition.
I haven't missed an open day in Thanksgiving in I don't know how long. I mean, it's been years and years and years.
My daughter was born Thanksgiving Eve 9 years ago. I'll never forget sitting in the hospital in the waiting room with my wife, and my wife saying, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, no, I'm fine. I can't wait." She goes, "Are you sure?" She's like, "What's the problem? You know, what's the matter? It looks like you got something on your mind." And I said, "You know, tomorrow's Thanksgiving." My wife knew right away, you know, it's, no, you're not going. And I said, you know, it's tradition.
He was at the dock with me in the morning on my boat.
She just looked at me and she goes, "Listen, you can go hunting tomorrow. Just make sure you bring me a plate of food from Thanksgiving dinner." And I said, "That's great." I think it was like 5 minutes later, I called Mike up and I said, "Hey, I'm good to go tomorrow." And he was just hysterical at me. He goes, "There's no way. There's absolutely no way you pulled this off."
There are times where it's great to get out. It's great to escape. I had lost my father 1 year, and that was right around waterfowl season. And even coming to the following season, it was tough.
He called me up and he said, "Hey, listen, I need to get out in the water." And I said, "I'm there."
You be there for each other on the water. And like I said, good times, bad times, waterfowl hunting will always make it great. Always make it great.
I felt like I was there for him where he needed me. And that one, you know, my daughter and that one always stand out in my head.
Just one of those things that no matter what, you try to make it happen. And this is what we do. We live for it. It's in our blood.
Let him turn. Get him. Get him.
I'm a waterfowl guide, and I have been for 42 years. I've been accommodating clients from all over the country and out of the country. Most of my clientele coming from New York City.
3. They just circled around the tree.
Are they low?
Yeah, they were low. They're coming in. They're going to come in through the opening. See them?
There they are, right above us.
It's not only my livelihood, and I'm sure you heard this many times, it becomes a lifestyle. It is just unbelievable when you see their faces and the excitement. I draw so much from that and love that so much. You have no idea, because they leave that they can't wait to get back again. It's just been a great journey for me, and I feel extremely blessed. My name's Captain Tom Cornicelli. I'm a full-time waterfowl guide and 4-time world carving champion. It all starts from a block of wood. I take a block of wood and I make it come to life. It can be very easy and simple, and it can be very, very, very detailed. Once I get going and it starts to take life, I just, I'm full throttle forward. You could put your eye right on it and you think that it's breathing. The majority of my work goes to collectors throughout the country. When I tell you obsessed, these guys are nuts when it comes to collecting decoys and sporting art.
This is my mess here. I'm a collector. I can't pass anybody's garbage without picking something up. Anything I see, I think maybe someday I'll have a use for it. Probably have 2,000 decoys, and I've collected them for actually only the last 10 years, but I've hunted my whole life. Got a few decoys here. They just ain't made it up the stairs yet. And this is some of my mess. I'm Butch Stroud, and I'm a waterfowler and a big decoy collector. Up here, I probably have a couple of thousand. I really do. And home, I have a room like this home that's filled with all of my treasured ones. I have ones from Al McCormick. He was a man that made decoys in West, and I have other decoys from Corwin and stuff like that, which were all local decoy makers here. There's people I know that retire and they sit down in a chair until they die, and they don't have a hobby. I just enjoy it. It's, as far as the hunting season goes, the hunting season is 60 days, and that's it. And for 10 months, there's nothing. The way I feel, I can hunt ducks for 365 days a year. It's a lot better than going to work or playing with a cell phone. You're collecting a decoy and you're giving it a good home, putting it in a place where other people can look at it, enjoy it as much as I do.
I think the biggest struggle that we have as waterfowlers on Long Island is the non-hunters, the people that live along the shore. They hear the shots go off, right away. It's, honey, I hear gunshots.
People calling DEC thinking that we're doing something illegal, when actually we are 100% legal. That's probably the biggest struggle.
We had hunter harassment just recently. We were goose hunting and we actually had people come out with an air horn.
We were calling, we're trying to work the birds, and they're blowing air horns. Everybody came there. DEC came, Bay Constables came, Nassau County Police showed up. We were 100% correct in what we were doing, where they actually gave them a warning or they're gonna be charged for hunter harassment.
They're actually breaking the law, and they could get summoned for it. I would like them to be educated, let them know that, listen, we all share the area, and we're not gonna do anything that's gonna put them in harm.
No matter how much you talk to them, most of the time you just can't get through to them, because it's just, that's their view, and I respect their opinion.
Everybody has their own opinion. The problem comes into when you force your opinion onto somebody else. I don't force my opinions or my beliefs onto anybody, and I don't expect anybody to force their opinions or their beliefs onto me.
How can you kill a duck? How do you feel? I've heard the term murderer, and I'm like, that's not what this is about.
I certainly don't want them looking at me or hunting or hunters in a negative light. I mean, we've been doing this for millions of years. So this is the way we existed.
Sometimes they'll turn and say, oh, you know what, you make a good point. Sometimes they'll just keep calling me a murderer. But it's never gonna stop me from doing what I do and what I love to do.
We are the biggest conservationists out there, or your hunters. Everything that we're doing, it's for the environment and for the habitat of the waterfowl.
Hunters in general will put more towards conservation than anybody else because we're vested into it.
Yes, we enjoy the hunt, the thrill of the hunt, but I eat what I kill, and I know the majority of my friends are the same way. We eat what we kill. If I'm not going to eat it, don't want to shoot it. I don't necessarily have to go to a supermarket to buy it. I enjoy this. I'm getting something that I know that it's good quality food, and I can take it back home and, again, enjoy it at the dinner table with my family, with my friends.
Beautiful ducks, though, right? For one thing, it's a challenge. You feel it, you see it, you experience it. You can't just kill it and eat it. For one thing, there's no fat on them because they're like lean. So you add something else to it. I think that like simple is better when it comes to that. Too much foo-foo fancy, it doesn't equate. You're kind of losing the idea of going and shooting them.
You know, the fact that we just hunted together and then we were able to all come together again and meet up at this restaurant and run into good friends and you know, invite some people who hadn't never tried duck before and invited them over to eat with us.
You introduce other people to it and camaraderie happens, connectivity happens. You sit together, you get to know each other. Duck hunting was such a special thing in my childhood that I thought I lost it when I moved to New York. And without even knowing about it, it comes full circle back.
You know, you process your own food, you know exactly who touched it, who fixed it, who put it together, who cooked it, and who cleaned it, and how it was cleaned and how it was handled. You did. That's the beauty of it too.
If you watch this film thinking it was just about hunting, then I suggest you watch it again. This time, I want you to watch closely. You see, with every person in this film comes a story about a passion that is unexplainable.
It's just something you can't describe unless you actually try it.
For some, it's an escape. Time spent with man's best friend. An outlet to be creative. Or even something to cherish. For others, it's their livelihood. A day on the water with family and friends, all leading to moments in time that will never be forgotten. Things might be slightly different around here, but the pride these New Yorkers carry for what they do and where they're from is something incredibly powerful.
I'm proud being a New York hunter.
I'm extremely proud to be a New York hunter.
I'm definitely proud because, you know, we're still here. We're still doing it.
I will never give it up. If I can physically do it, I'll never give it up.
I don't know what I would do without it. I have to be honest with that one.
The salt water is in my blood, and they say once you get the salt water in your veins, you can never get it out.